It was Sunday, August 1st, 1993. A day before the Jamboree at Fort A.P. Hill. And at our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. Scouts from all over were checking out all the sites, like the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Memorial, and the White House. All that walking can make a guy pretty tired. So how's this for a rest stop? Sitting on the edge of the Potomac overlooking the historic Jefferson Memorial. It was pretty cool. Back at Fort A.P. Hill, the scene was a little wild. That's because everyone was scrambling to make 1993's A Bridge to the Future the best jamboree ever. We invaded Fort A.P. Hill during the next 2 days, along with about 30,000 other scouts. And were we ever pumped up? Our bus seemed as slow as a snail getting us to our campsite. Once the bus stopped, we could hardly wait to get off and to get our stuff out. Now it was just a short walk to our new home. It's there where we found them. You know, the famous Jamboree picnic tables, the ones that scream out, "Assembly required," the ones you put together without following the instructions. That is, until you mess it all up. By comparison, putting up our tent was no problem. By the way, these accommodations were the coolest. We got to build it and decorate it ourselves. They were naturally air-conditioned and had an awesome view. Soon, whole sub-camps and even regions were taking shape. In just 2 days, the Jamboree became the 7th largest burb in Virginia. Every troop has its own legends and traditions. These were usually shown with gateways at the entrance of each camp. Check it out. Some of them were pretty incredible.
Jamborees play a vital role in promoting scouting.
The opening ceremony featured keynote speaker Jerry Ratcliffe, Chief Scout Executive.
Over 800 international scouts are participating with us in this Jamboree, representing over 56 countries from around the world, to help us celebrate in the spirit of scouting.
Then we watched a Revolutionary War reenactment, complete with real uniforms, muskets, and bayonets. Man, that charge was close.
Please join in the Scout Law. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
It kind of gave us goosebumps as we watched the flags from each state and territory, the American flag and the Boy Scout flag all being raised. Another keynote speaker was Richard Halpern, the Jamboree chairman. He said the magic words that all of us Scouts were waiting to hear.
Let the 1993 Jamboree begin.
Let the Jamboree begin. Now it's time for some major fun. The first stop? Where else? The Action Center. Our patrol started out at pioneering physics. It got its name because you use simple tools and pioneering skills to do a lot of neat stuff, like rope throwing, saving the world with the atomic pile, and rope climbing. Swinging on a pioneer merry-go-round. Checking out the sights on the double ladder, signaling and lookout tower. Stepping up and making tracks on the narrowest bridge I've ever walked on. It's called a monkey bridge. And we got a real lesson in pioneering leverage with this swinging boom derrick. We got to use primitive A-frame bridges like those our forefathers used. All this pioneering stuff can make a guy pretty tired. No sweat, just grab a few simple tools, follow a few easy directions, put in a little bit of work, and check it out. You have a pretty cool pioneering chair. Next came 36 feet of action-packed adventure. But before you got to tackle this, you had to tackle this. It was an easy 10 minutes of instruction that was a whole lot of fun.
So as long as you got your brakes on, you're not going to go anywhere.
Once you were at the top of the tower, you were quickly hooked up. There was no time wasted in getting you to go down. And 36 awesome feet gave you a lot of room just to show off. The archery range was huge. Some of the Scouts were drawing compound bows for the very first time, while others had no problem scoring big-time points. Now this was totally awesome. Listen, take 3 totally cool bikes, put them on a motocross course designed to National Bicycle Motocross Organization specifications, and hang on for the ride of your life. He didn't have to tell us twice to get down. We've shot air rifles before. In fact, we're pretty good at it. It was pretty exciting as we all began shooting. We fired at a target until we ran out of ammunition. Then we checked it out. Not a bad score. Shooting trap was another story, because blasting a piece of clay out of the sky isn't easy when you're standing up and shouldering one hunk of heavy metal, although some guys make it look that way. No, this wasn't a birthday party. It was Scouts testing their skills at bullwhip cracking. Believe me, it's a lot harder than it looks. It was really cool to learn how to throw a tomahawk. With just a little instruction, I could throw that baby like a real frontiersman. This group of Siberian Scouts wanted to shoot guns for the very first time, so they got a little American history. It's called Black Powder, a 19th century muzzle loading and shooting adventure they won't ever forget. Want to be a world champion bull rider someday? Why not check it out here first? This bucking bronco was the best way to find out if you've got what it takes to be a real cowboy. Patrol Challenge was a little different. It made you work together as a patrol. Try the trolley without a little teamwork. Or all aboard. Or the A-frame walk. These all made you work together, physically, as a team. The Muse was a little different. It was mostly a mental game, deciding how to get yourselves, 3 boards, and a rope from one end of the giant puzzle to the other, following certain rules, of course. In the magic ring, a patrol had some fun raising an old car tire to the top of a pole. Then they put the tire hole over the pole. Then they lowered it to the bottom. Guys on both sides helped another guy through this tire that looks like a giant donut. It's called the tunnel. If you really want to test your physical fitness skills, I mean really test them, then check out Action Alley. One trip around this course and you'll know if you've got the right stuff. Rain. It's become quite a tradition at the Jamboree, and this one wasn't any different. The only problem is that about 30,000 scouts had an arena show to go see, and none of us wanted the rain to mess it up. Luckily, by showtime, the rain was nothing but a mist, and things began to happen. Hot air balloons soon came to life. The Army's Golden Knights parachute team did their thing. And then, 4 Navy F-14s flew by. The crack in the sky was definitely louder than a double stack of Marshall amps. It was incredible. Up With People kicked off the main show with an upbeat message. Then came an American history lesson like I've never seen before. Then country star Lee Greenwood, surrounded by hundreds of scouts and American flags, blew us away with his song, God Bless the USA. Talk about a lump in your throat. It was an awesome way to end a great day.
And New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, sing it! I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Go.
The next morning, we hit the Action Center to finish it up.
44.55.
In the bikathlon, we got timed as we pedaled mountain bikes cross-country. Stopping at stations to shoot air rifles. Then continuing our cross-country mountain bike journey to the finish. Next stop, the confidence course. The adults said it teaches patrols team building, physical and mental awareness, endurance, and, of course, confidence. I just know it was big-time fun. Want to see how the staff ate? Check this out.
Line 10, hut! Present Toms! Inspect Toms! Order Toms! Parade rest! Serve lunch!
Pretty lame, huh? Seriously, though, we put away mass quantities of food and beverage. How much? Well, before the Jamboree was over, try more than 1 million meals. The guys at Brownsea Island created a neat little twilight zone. They took you back to when Lord Baden-Powell had his first Boy Scout campout. What did we do there? I'm glad you asked. First, we learned about the British flag and all kinds of exploration stuff. There was this game that tested your memory. I forget the name of it. Then we learned how to build a straw lean-to. We found out that tug-of-wars were popular, even back in 1907. The Robin Hood drill with Scout staves looked pretty rugged. One slip and you could crush your fingers for sure. What Scout wouldn't like that challenge? We learned about the art of tracking.
So you can see, this is some of the ways that you can tell the difference between a male track and a female track.
They can pack in some straw.
And how to make a straw mattress.
Stave up, they can pack in some straw right behind it. The stave and the strings lock it in place.
And the sport of flinging the squaler. Hey, this sport could get popular again. Actually, this is a life-saving drill. All sports were popular, especially at the Disability Awareness Trail. Playing basketball in a wheelchair let us experience what it's like to be disabled. I'll never look at baseball the same way after playing this. It's called beeper baseball. Try getting a hit just by listening for the ball. Volleyball took on a whole new challenge when you played with only one arm. I guess what I really found out is that a handicapped person is more like me than different. After all, we're all handicapped in some way or another. Some of us have been ham radio operators for a while now. So when we got a chance to get on the air, we jumped on it. The people at K2 B.S.A. told us that we've talked to 50 states twice and more than 125 countries. That's a lot of radio time. Over and out, dudes. It was a quiet morning. The mist hung like a wet blanket, and it was also only 6 o'clock. Some of us were casting for one of 25,000 bass, bluegill, channel catfish, and other lunkers in Fishhook Lake. It's just our luck. We got here so early that even the fish were asleep. We decided to make our way over to Hometown News when we ran into this. We later found out it wasn't so lame after all. They were being videotaped for the CBS This Morning show. It might as well have been a rain dance because here it came, another monsoon. Some of the scouts didn't worry about it though, and just had fun. We made our way to the Hometown News beat, where we became official Jamboree correspondents. The tent was full of scouts writing stories about the Jamboree. Soon, you were on a computer, inputting your story. And in a jiffy, your story became a press release. Trucking our way through the rain again, we found these two giant Quonset huts. Want to know how a tornado forms? Or why the Alamo fell? Or want to look at some pretty neat drawings, paintings, photographs, and other stuff? These exhibits taught me that arts and science is for everyone, no matter how cool you are. Ooh, waking up is pretty hard to do. Sometimes reveille was a royal pain, if you know what I mean. But a guy can get big-time hungry at the Jamboree, no matter what time of day it is. Now, the only problem with chowing down is cleaning up. And we all know what that means. KP duty. Sometimes we just hung out. For some of us, Saturday was a time for spiritual learning and worship. But afterwards, it was time for a different type of reflection. One of communing with the water and having some super wet fun. It was time for aquatics. Kayak run was the first stop. After a little instruction, maneuvering a kayak around a tricky course was pretty easy. Canoe sprint was next. I thought canoeing was easy, but the canoe sprint most definitely changed my mind. We were timed as we raced our canoes through a most heinous obstacle course. Just finishing was major. The next thing was like totally jamming. It was called crew rowing. First came a little instruction. Then a little familiarization with the controls. Then it was on to Olympic-style rowing in a sleek, lightweight show. Think you and a buddy were pretty trick with an oar and canoe? You had to try this out. It was called canoe slalom. Turning's a bear. You get your speed back up using major muscle power when it's time to turn again. It's pretty neat when you get halfway good at it. Next, it was time for some laid-back fun. It's called Raft Encounter. It's when two hand-paddling scouts challenge other raft teams to a wet and wild bump and splash. The lines were long, but we wanted to stay with these awesome water activities, so we saved some of the best for last. After learning how to use a snorkel, fins, and mask, we hit the Olympic-sized swimming pool to practice our underwater skills. Then came one of the neatest things we've ever experienced, scuba diving. It's hard to believe that with just one lesson, we were diving for Jamboree treasures at the depths of the pool. It kind of made me feel like Jacques Cousteau or something. Each troop has a separate campsite. This is where we did our sleeping, relaxing, and socializing. Hey, where else can a bunch of guys get away from it all like this? A scout is reverent. So the folks at the Jamboree made sure that every faith was represented with some sort of religious activity. By the looks of it, scouts didn't need any encouragement to attend. Worship services were standing room only, like this Catholic Mass with His Eminence James Cardinal Hickey, the Archbishop of Washington. Later, it was time to phone home, to tell them how you're doing, how much you miss them, and to send more money. Now that business was out of the way, it was time to hit the conservation trail. Where else could you find a place where water seemed to come out of thin air? The Bureau of Land Management set up a mine where you could actually pan for real gold. Then you could drill a hole in a rock with a hammer and chisel. This is where dynamite charges would go if we were mining for real. Ready for a reality check? The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers exhibit showed us how much water we use just doing our normal daily stuff. Emptying these buckets showed all of us that we use a ton of water, like 25 gallons per day for each of us to use the toilet. And 100 gallons to take a shower. And that's not even counting things like brushing your teeth or washing your hands. Welcome to the energy cycle, a bicycle-powered generator that converts one form of energy to another to make electrical things work. Pedal power to electrical power. The more you sweat, the more electrical things you can get to work. I'm glad my TV at home doesn't work like this. A scout used a pump to shoot a stream of water at a target in this fire simulation exercise. Next, we came eye to eye with a real eagle. It was awesome seeing one in real life, up close. We weren't real artists or anything, but we got a chance to sculpt and to paint. Did you know that you can be handicapped and still enjoy a nature trail? This trail allowed scouts to experience the feeling of enjoying the great outdoors, even though you were handicapped. The daily stage shows were cool. I thought the GT Bicycle Company stunt show was awesome, and so did the crowd. Another part of the daily stage show was this Hawaiian dance team. And these paratroopers. The Estes Rocket Company put on a pretty neat rocket show. All that excitement can make a guy want to go out and buy something. And this is just the place, the trading post. There were a lot of people waiting in line to buy a lot of cool Jamboree souvenirs and other neat stuff. After hitting the trading post, it was time to do another type of trading. Grab all your patches because this was the coolest thing going. It was patch trading at its best. Some scouts got there early and put on their own show getting there. That's pretty cool, huh? Most were mobilized to the arena show by region. Thomas Road was packed with tons of scouts. And loads of patrol flags. Everyone was getting more and more excited as we walked closer to the arena. Once we were in, electricity began to fill the air. Soon, the lights came up, and it started. For most of the evening, Louise Mandrell and her 12-member band, Spellbound, held everyone's attention. She was a total babe. Later, the traditional candle lighting ceremony began. And the symbol of the spirit of scouting soon spread across the entire arena. Then came the climax, a 30-minute, ear-popping, eye-glazing extravaganza of fireworks put on by the master, Zambelli Fireworks. What a way to end a great show! First on today's agenda is a visit to the Order of the Arrow's Native American village. I've always liked Native American stuff, so when I saw the Order of the Arrow guys dancing to the beat of authentic drums and wearing traditional Native American clothes, well, it was most excellent. At the Boys Life National Exhibits area, there were a lot of neat things to do. The first was to check out the Kodak race car. Now that's a set of hot wheels. Everyone's saying no to drugs, and we pledged it by writing our names on this "Drugs is a Deadly Game" wall.
I am Codemaster.
One of the neatest things to do was to watch the Codemaster video on a giant video wall. The Codemaster guided us on our course of instruction before we were challenged to break 3 codes on our own. Hey, Pedro, what do you think about that guy's hat? That bad, huh? Branding Jamboree 93 on my belt was pretty common. The folks there said that they would brand anything, except underwear. Watching this guy whittle was really neat. We all learned a lot just by watching him. He could turn an ordinary piece of wood into something you wanted to collect. NASA had a pretty kickin' exhibit. Inside was the wildest ride you'll ever take. It's called a multi-access trainer. It's sort of like a spaceship that's gone out of control. From a bird's eye view, it kind of looks like a giant star. From on the ground, it looks more like a midway, a merit badge midway. Inside, you could earn all kinds of merit badges, 52 to be exact, taking up a total of 92 booths. All merit badges could be earned or partially earned, including leatherworking. And check this out. Those were ski boots and skis, and it was 97 degrees out. Going down the artificial slope was just like going down the real thing. You could earn a merit badge in golf. 4? In space exploration. And so much more, we can't even show them all. Okay, I like the Jamboree. But what do my buds think about it? Let's check it out.
Jamboree slamming!
Totally jamming.
Jamboree's a ball.
Jamboree is a jolly good time.
Jamboree.
Totally
Jurassic.
More race, more horse, more scouts, more pelts.
Jamboree's excellent. Jamboree is kicking. The Jamboree is unbelievable.
Rocket! Jamboree's a ball.
The Jamboree smells.
The Jamboree is an inveritable cornucopia of good times and a plethora of fun.
Jamboree's awesome.
Swell. Smashing event.
Jamboree's fat!
The Jamboree is an extravagant extension of fellowship and good fun. Jamboree is Doomsday! Jamboree's a hunk of burning fun.
Jamboree's bodacious.
Jamboree's slick.
Sure.
I'll grab that.
As if.
Jamboree's a ball.
Jamboree's all that.
Yeah.
It was Tuesday, August 10th. It was the last day of the Jamboree. It was time to take our tents down and pack our stuff away. All this non-stop fun made some of the guys pretty tired. But most of us had to get ready for the long trip ahead of us. We all knew that once we were on that bus and headed for home, the Jamboree would be 7 days of history. But believe me, each guy will have plenty of memories to last a lifetime. I guess that's what A Bridge to the Future was all about. Peace, dudes.
Hello, I'm Jerry Ratcliffe. We're really pleased with the success of our 13th National Jamboree. This Jamboree has been about heritage, our natural heritage, our American heritage, and certainly about our scouting heritage. The Jamboree is the apex of the scouting experience and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In the last week, I've had the opportunity to talk to many of the 34,000 scouts and scouters who are here at this Jamboree. In each conversation, I've been impressed by the commitment to scouting, by the youth and by the leaders, and that commitment which they've expressed to me and to each other. Even after the last tent goes down and the last bus rolls away, we know that scouts will leave Fort A.P. Hill with memories and friendships that will last a lifetime. They also leave here with a renewed commitment to the ideals of scouting, the importance of doing a good turn, the importance of being prepared, and the other ideals that are expressed in the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. That's what a Jamboree is all about. It gives us all the opportunity to build friendships at home and indeed around the world. Pulling off an event as massive as a National Jamboree takes countless hours of work from our volunteers and professional staff. It also takes the cooperation of thousands of scouts and adult leaders. We've seen a great amount of cooperation this week from scouts and from the U.S. military leadership and personnel. They have welcomed us once again for our 13th National Jamboree. That kind of cooperation has translated into one of the smoothest running jamborees ever, and we're proud of that. I want to take this time to thank every single one of you, the more than 5,000 staff members and more than 25,000 scouts, as well as 3,000 adult leaders who have made this all happen. It's that kind of effort and spirit of cooperation that makes the Boy Scouts of America a great national movement. Again, thanks to all of you, and we're already looking forward to our 14th National Jamboree.